We will always agree and find a way. We will make the sacrifices that we have to make so that our country moves forward. Because we understand that that is something that we must all do. There are people who have made bigger sacrifices for this country than ourselves. If we had time, I would tell you a conversation we had with Uhuru Kenyatta when he appointed us to the cabinet. Several of us that Uhuru appointed to the cabinet, you know, left international jobs, wengine tulitoka mahali kwingine where we were earning more money than we were going to earn as ministers. But you know, for our country to move forward, wananchi, lazima tujitolee sisi wote. And if the sacrifices we are going to make, some of us, is to either defer ambitions or find a way of working with each other, it is worth it and we will do it so that we move our country forward. Na nyinyi wenyewe pia, tafadhali wananchi, tukianza kuzungumza vile tunazungumza, muzingiwe na hizi porocho za huku kuambiwa huyu ameenda hivi, huyu anafanya hivi namna hii. Tuko tayari. Kazi ya kuongoza nchi na kazi ya kuendesha nchi sio kazi ngumu. Watu wengine walikuwa wananiuliza eti wewe tunataka urudi kwa public life. Are you serious? Nikasema there is no time in my life I've never been serious. Because wakati nilikuwa minister for education, mimi kazi sio shida kwangu, na kwanza kazi ikitajwa mimi nachangamuka sana. Nilikuwa hapa nafungua container ya Matiangi saa 9 usiku. Napiga shule 15 hapa, naanzia Mudwaine kule Bishop Katimu Ngandu Girls, naenda kumalizia pande ile ya Nyeri huko juu. And I was all over the place. The following day I would be in Kambiamoto, opening containers at 3 a.m. in the morning, kupigana na wakora wa kusumbua watoto wetu kwa shule. Sasa mimi niko tayari kupigana na watu kama hao, ndio kazi yangu. Mimi niko tayari. Na unajua hiyo kazi nyinyi wananchi ndio mnatoa hiyo kazi. Nyinyi ndio mko na kadi ya kura, nyinyi ndio mko na kipande, nyinyi ndio mtaamuka asubuhi muamue ni nani mnapea hiyo kazi. Sisi wakati ukifika, ninawaahidi mkitupea hiyo kazi mtaona vile nchi itaenda. Because we need to clean our country, we need to restore the faith of government so that people can trust the government again. That serikali ikikwambia kitu, kiongozi wa serikali akikwambia kitu, you can go to sleep and trust what they are telling you. Sio eti wanaambiwa hii tunacheza na wananchi vile tunacheza hivi. Ya mwisho, wananchi nataka kuwaomba hivi. Na mimi namshukuru Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua na Mama Dorcas kwa kutualika. This is very important to me. Wananchi, when there is a problem in a country like we have now, challenges of various kinds, you will be tempted very easily. Kwanza sasa, you know, with the frustrations we have, disappointments, unfulfilled promises, hata viongozi wengine wanaweza kuanza sasa kutukawanya sisi wenyewe. Tuanze kupigana. Hiyo maneno mnasikia tunaambiwa 841 versus I don't know what. Hiyo yote ni style ya kufanya sisi tuanze kupigana. Tusahau shida zetu, badala ya kutumia wakati wetu kutafuta suluhisho kwa hayo maneno yote, tuanze sasa kupigana sisi wenyewe. Watu wanapiga nduru hapa Nyeri wako na shida. Kule Nyamira wako na shida. Kule Taita Taveta wako na shida. Kule Kakamega wako na shida. Sasa ukabila unatusaidia nini? Sisi sote tuko na shida. Basi tunatafuta namna ya kutafuta suluhisho so that our country can be managed better. Na tuko tayari kufanya hiyo kazi. Kwa hivyo ninawaomba wananchi, msipoteze imani. Don't lose hope in our country. What we are going through is a momentary situation. And let us not be tempted to turn against each other. Mungu atatubariki. We have had some challenges before, but we always rise again. This country is built on resilience. Wakenya ni watu wa kufanya bidii. Wakenya ni watu wanajua vile tunataka kwenda mbele. Don't lose hope. Tukae pamoja, tushikane. Na hawa ndugu zetu hapa na dada, tushikane pamoja. Mungu atatusaidia, tutavuka hiyo daraja. Na tukivuka hiyo daraja tutaenda mbele. We will fix our challenges. Hizi zote tutatengeneza. So that we fix our education system properly, so that watu wawe na imani kwa elimu yetu. We fix our systems. Hata kama hii ni mambo ya afya, we will find solutions to our challenges together. So that huu muda kidogo tuko na shida hapa na pale, let us not turn against each other. Hii vile tunaambiwa hii maneno ni kabila hii Ni hawa ndio wanataka kuleta shida, ni kabila hii inataka kuleta shida. Hakuna kabila inataka kuleta shida dunia hii. Makabila ni mawili. Wale sisi ambao tunataka maendeleo kwenda mbele na kabila ingine ya wale ambao hawataki maendeleo wanatusumbua. Na mimi nafikiri sisi sote tuko kwa kabila moja ile ambayo inataka tuendelee mbele vizuri. Ama namna gani? Mungu na wabariki wananchi and God bless you.
Welcome back to Turning the Mirror podcast. My name is Gachagua'S. Again today we saw Matiang'I, Dr. Fred Matiang'I, the former CS for Interior, join his opposition colleagues at Wamunyoro. Remember, as Ruto held his interdenominational church service in Suna East in Migori, Gachagua and his colleagues held a church service at Wamunyoro. And after this, we had the opposition leaders speak. We had Cleophas Malala, the former UDA Secretary General, spill the beans that the government actually took part in taking down the MP, actually the former MP of Kasipul, Ongondoweri. During this occasion, we saw leaders speak different languages, but all of them were calling for the unity of the opposition to form a strong force to take down, or rather, to ensure that Ruto doesn't get back to the office in 2027. Now, what does this speak to Matiang'I as a person and Matiang'i's presidency? When Matiang'I took to the podium to speak, as you've heard when beginning this podcast, Matiang'I said that he went to his home because when he left the country, he left from home and therefore went back home to tell his people that he's back. And during his visit of his region, he was sent to make sure he speak with Gachagua, Kalonzo, Eugene Wamalwa, like all the leaders in the opposition, to ensure they form one coalition or one movement to take Ruto back to Sugoi in 2027. Now, what does this mean to his ambition as a man? Number one, for Matiang'I to come back home, or Kenya, to ensure that he runs for president, initially, to be sincere, he had not mentioned that before. But because during the Gen Z protests, his name came through, and many people called on his name and told him to come back, run for president, and they were going to vote him in so that he could fix the nation. Matiang'I actually heeded to that call and came back to run for presidency. The Gen Z who called him to come back home and run for presidency, majority of them are not viewing a good number of the leaders he is now putting in his side as the people who can really save Kenya. Do you remember the time, if you go to Twitter today, or X, formerly Twitter, and search the word drain the swamp, that term specifically meant all those who have taken part in this country's leadership, in the political space, actually from the Moi time, and have taken part when it comes to mistreating the Kenyan citizens and misappropriation of funds. All of them are supposed to go home. In that list, we had Rigathi Gachagua, because many people saw him as a tribalist. In that list, we had Kalonzo Musyoka, because many people saw him as someone who doesn't have a stance. In that list, we had Martha Karua, because many people remember what happened in 2007 when he was in Kibaki's side, when Kibaki stole the elections, and then the country was plunged into chaos that claimed several lives and actually displaced so many people during the 2007 post-election violence, among other people. And so with the Matiang'I relating or working with these people, to some level, it might taint his image as a man who was called to help or to help fix the nation. And with this, you remember that as people dig into the past of some of these leaders, they will as well dig into the past of Dr. Fred Matiang'i when he was the CS for Interior. And remember, in the political space, most of these people have a dark past. Even Matiang'i himself, many people have already started sharing videos when he was the CS for Interior, when bodies were being found in River Yala, when there were police brutality during the NASA protests, when the TV stations were switched off, actually suppressing the freedom of the media and all that. So having himself with these people will actually make the people, when digging to the past of these people, trying to ensure or trying to show the public that these are not the people to be trusted. That is the very same time when those who are not buying to Matiang'i's politics will also dig to his past and share what he had done when he was in power. And that might affect him in a way, negatively. On the positive side, today Gachagua is a king in the mountain. Gachagua is a king in the mountain. And today, many of the leaders within the mountain are just yearning to meet with Gachagua, so that at the end of the day in 2027, he can simply say, this area we want so and so, this area so and so, because then people will be voting along that line. After all, Kenyan politics is ethnic based. It is tribal. And so again, aligning with Gachagua, that means that Matiang'i is going to get a tangible support from Mount Kenya, more so those who are buying to Gachagua'S politics. Siding with Kalonzo Musyoka, that again means that he's going to get tangible votes in the eastern, or Ukambani rather, for those who still buy the Kalonzo politics. And that happens across even in western now that he has Natembeya, Eugene Wamalwa, Peter Salasya, among others, even Caleb Hamisi in his side. But now challenge comes here. We have Gachagua who is interested in this position. Remember, his case is still active in court, and if at all the courts will find out that the impeachment process was not done the right way, then Gachagua will be eligible to run for presidency. We have Kalonzo Musyoka, who has said it directly that this time around he's not leaving it for anybody and he's going for the presidency. Now we have Martha Karua here, who also said that he will be running for presidency. So with these three people or other people who had formed this coalition before, this movement before, we have Matiang'i in a tight corner. Because then, of all these people, they will have to decide who becomes the flag bearer, or rather runs for president, who becomes the deputy, and then look at how they are going to divide the positions amongst themselves, other positions. And so with this in mind, it is a matter of time when we will now know the following Matiang'i has that can help him maybe become the flag bearer. Because when deciding on who becomes the flag bearer, they'll be looking at so many things. Financial support, or the financial weight or muscle that someone has. They'll be looking at the support base when it comes to voting block, the support base, among other things. And therefore, Matiang'i must ensure that by the time they'll be making this decision, if at all he has to go with these people within the same coalition, if he has to run with these people within the same coalition, and is interested in running as the president, then he has to ensure that by the time they are sitting down to decide on who is the flag bearer, then he must have two things with him. Number one, he must have the largest number of support base when it comes to voting block with him, so that he surpasses all the other candidates, and therefore with that he'll be automatically appointed or selected as the flag bearer. Number two, he must also ensure that his financial muscle is strong enough to ensure that he can convince all these other people that even a one-man army with him, he can automatically run a presidential campaign without struggling. So with that, then these people will automatically support him, both financially and with their votes, and campaign for him. So as I conclude, I'd say that Matiang'I, with these people on the negative side, checking on their pasts, and with the term drain the swamp, then with other candidates like Omtata, the likes of Maraga, among many other things, who doesn't have a past that is seriously tainted, it is going to give him a tough time. But otherwise, out there to even President Ruto and other political leaders who are eyeing the presidency, Matiang'I is a strong force and a man to watch. My name is Kwach.